Okay, picking up where I left off, the last one we talked about the statement made that Goodspeed's the greatest Greek scholar and how there's a double standard when comparing him with people like Metzger and so forth. Um, then talking about Barker, he makes a statement that says Barker admitted using Origin Septuagint. Excuse me. Even though in the introductory of the NIV it says otherwise. Um, I'm not saying that's not true, but I would like to see some evidence. You know, how can you prove that statement? And then let's see. And then he deflects my argument of Isaiah 14 when I show that the 1611 contains a marginal note there for an alternate reading of Odestar instead of Lucifer. He mentions it, but he doesn't spend any time and he doesn't deal with the implications of that. And then let's see, he talks about that there's gaps of silence on my videos and I'm running out of steam. Yeah, I was tired. It was late. I would think that Phil would know something about that. Maybe I should have got me a cup of hot cocoa and put some scotch in it or something. Let's see. And then talks about, he says he's not going to make fun of my pronunciation of, I said Tanaka. He says Tanakh. You know, that's the name of it right there. I've never heard it pronounced, so how would I know how to say it? But he says he's not going to make fun of the way I pronounce it, but then by saying that, he's doing just that. Let's see. Of course, I point out, that he's always saying Bruce Metzinger, like it's got an ing in there somewhere, and it's Metzger. But anyway, it says that there's some things being reserved for the day of judgment. Talking about the satanic influence of the new translations. I guess we will find out on the day of judgment with this situation who was right. Let's see, and then he kind of being a little sarcastic says I'm a self-appointed watchman. But then the scripture kind of insinuate that we're all to be watchmen. Ezekiel. To warn unrepentant sinners to flee from the wrath to come, as John the Baptist said of the scribes and Pharisees coming for baptism. I don't know. Maybe he don't think we're supposed to be. I don't know. Let's see. New World Translation, and the Jehovah's Witnesses have a new Bible called the Bible in Living English. I haven't seen that one. I didn't even know about it. But the reason that I dismiss the New World Translation and do not consider it a modern translation to be taken seriously is because of the obvious heretical teachings of the Watchtower Society. And the Watchtower controls that translation, and that translation in multiple places reflects its doctrine going against, the Greek. Now you're going to say, well, you've admitted you don't know Greek. That's true, but I know how to read after people who do. I know how to listen to people, and I can, discern proof and evidence. I've heard Bruce Metzger actually address how the Watchtower has used his name to try to, validate some of their renderings, and he has come out and, shown otherwise. And so, he points out that the Greek will not support the way they translate it. And then he asked the question, why do I always turn to Bruce Metzger? Well, to be honest with you, it's the only source that I have that will actually break down which particular manuscripts, deal with the variant readings. I mean, I have other Greek sources like, Vincent, Robertson, Wiest, but they don't deal with the particular manuscripts. So, let's see, and then I brought up Acts 16:7, and then of course he wants almost as if I was an atheist coming up with Acts 16:7 and was being serious about accusing the King James of something sinister. He missed the whole point. My whole point was showing that if the tables were reversed, if the King James had said Spirit of Jesus and the new translations just said Spirit, that verse would have ended up in all these King James only materials as being proof that they're, removing something. But when that same logic and reasoning is turned, all of a sudden it doesn't apply. Circular reasoning, deflection of arguments, double standards, and at times hypocrisy. I got one more video to address and clarify.